What's up everyone, and welcome to a great new way to take down gas for cheap in 3v3. This is actually pretty much lifting the Bruiser CLS modding that I put out as a defense team last year. Last time 3v3 was a playable mode. And, I think that team really has just fallen off, with or without the Bruiser modding in defense. But it just so turns out that that same configuration is perfectly positioned to be able to take down gas on offense. And I think it's one of the cheapest options that we have right now. Gas is certainly a weaker team in 3v3. He loses two of the clones for speed synergy. He loses two of the clones for protection and defense purposes. But even despite everything he's missing, it doesn't really make him that much easier to take down. There aren't many solid gas counters, even in 3v3 with the weaker setup. But it does leave him perfectly positioned to be taken down by a CLS team. Even if you're at a relic disadvantage, even if you're fighting R9 gas, R9 5s, it hasn't had an issue for me. Especially, Bruiser CLS being very heavy on tenacity, crit avoidance, protection, means that gas, isn't getting the health reductions on you, isn't able to crit you that often, especially with CLS's learn control Zeta is fantastic for this. And while that team may sound like it's low damage, all you really need is the exposes provided by C3PO to be able to battering ram down gas. And then you can actually go both ways. I usually go for the 5 skill, but maybe let's say you can't get the tenacity up off of him. I've been able to, kill Rex via sacrifice and then finish Super Rex off with exposes as well. It just generally works out for the matchup in a way that kind of feels perfect. Now, there are some risks. I will say I did lose one attempt against a team where they had gas modded to go before their Rex. In that case, my CLS did get his cooldowns increased, I think twice even, and so, I wasn't able to get the tenacity up off. And of course, with tenacity up on the enemy team, we pretty much have no damage because of no exposes, and so that did end up resulting in a loss. But, I can't say that that wouldn't be winnable necessarily, but it's close enough that, at least try to have a plan B, and if you run into a gas faster than Rex, maybe consider defaulting to that instead, or at least know that you're taking a risk. Just to go through the modding real quick, I already kind of explained the overall basics, but yeah, we do have a speed set with CLS and then 3 tenacity sets with everyone else. Ideally, if you can, try to make sure that you get onto that crit avoidance arrow on everyone, even on CLS. With gas having usually about 150% crit chance, this means that CLS with his Zeta and with a crit avoidance arrow will be at about 100% crit avoidance, so there is a small amount of chance for him to get crit. Ideally, we would like to push back on that. If you don't have that many crit avoidance arrows, I know it's a pretty niche ask, people tend to ignore it, but, they are quite good. If you don't have them, maybe you could try to get either like a speedless one and run a speed set on someone else where you would have been on 3 tenacity instead. Something like that. It really does help this matchup. Crit avoidance arrows are one of those types of things where you don't need them until you do, and then you extremely really do. It's better to make a sacrifice on tenacity and keep the crit avoidance than something other than that, right? I would say so. And yeah, because we have the extra tenacity on everyone, it also means that I haven't had a chance to test it against Echo and Arc yet. But the main danger there, I would think, would be Echo's AoE stun grenade. And because we have all that extra tenacity, we should be pretty much comfortable there. I see no real risk, so no issues there. Other than that, yeah, I would just say, try not to cut down too hard on C3PO speeds. I definitely think I cheated mine down quite a bit. CPO speeds, definitely don't want to neglect either. Certainly, probably one of the most important characters in this matchup against gas. The AoE tenacity up dispel is pretty much the way that we can win, right? Being able to get those exposes down, as well as, yeah, it's a little bit of extra protection regen. Certainly doesn't help against gas one bit. And all those extra exposes really just add up over time. So yeah, it isn't that complicated of a counter, to be honest. I think we're just gonna take this one to footage, keep it nice and short, give you a few examples. I have lost a character in a couple of circumstances, but surprisingly, none of them actually led to losses so far. When CLS died, Chupio was able to finish with AoE. When Chupio died, CLS was able to just stun gas down to death. So yeah, maybe a little bit of banner risk. So far has not lost yet, even across like 20 plus attempts. So good sign. And also even with a Relic 9 disadvantage. Not bad, right? Anyway, good luck out there. Happy hunting.